All right.
We're doing this.
Ready to rock and roll?
Folks, welcome to another episode of the Budgie Smugglers.
We're back, Dools.
We are back. My name is Jeremy Dooley, stand-up comedian. I'm joined by Stephen Bradshaw, also stand-up comedian and also public enemy number one.
Oh, no.
Australian sporting fans this
Well,
week.
we'll get to that in a moment, but it's just a very small subsect of the Australian sporting community. None of them are going to listen to this podcast, so it doesn't matter.
They've told us.
Yeah, I know they've been very explicit about that, but we'll get to that in a bit. How's your week been? Because, apart from copping a bit of shrapnel in the comment section, how's everything else going in your life?
Mate, I've had a fantastic week. Couple of great gigs,
yes.
Which is always good. Thursday night, I was at Welcome to Brunswick with the great Ray O'Leary, the great Bron Lewis, and the great Sonia Diorio. It was a hot show. Very cold evening, but it was a great show. Bron's such a great act. Oh. She's so good for someone who, she only won Raw Comedy a couple of years ago.
Yeah, right.
She's been doing comedy for a little while, but just a killer. She's so good.
One of the best in Oz at the moment.
Yeah.
Whenever I see her, she just murders every time.
Absolutely. And, Ray O'Leary, obviously, he's a crushed lord. It's funny. Sometimes you have this moment where I got up on stage. I was sort of hosting the show, and there was a guy in the front row, and the whole time, from behind the curtain, I was like, that guy looks so familiar, but I couldn't pick where I knew him, not just someone who's been to shows and stuff like that. And he's like, yeah, we worked together at RMIT. That's where I used to work. And I was like, yeah, cool. And that's the most I'd ever spoken to him, was that interaction on stage.
Did he know that you were going to be there?
I don't know. I didn't really dig deeper than that. It would probably taken up enough time there at the time, because it was literally the first thing I said. I'm like, you look really familiar. Why do I know? Odd way to start the show, but it was good. Great audience. Packed out room. Friday night I was out in Gippsland in Traralgon at Finally Mine Cafe.
Classic comedy venue.
Yeah. Tyson Popplestone, myself, and Gavin Semple.
Killer lineup.
And when Tyson
couple of Geelong comedians of the year.
Yeah, exactly. When Tyson's like, hey, I really want you to come and sort of, kind of run the night, and, be the host, get everything nice and toasty. I was like, yeah, absolutely. What's the venue? Because there's a few good, pubs and small kind of theatres and halls and stuff like that in Gippsland. And he said it's a cafe in Traralgon, which is not what I was anticipating.
Doesn't scream typical comedy venue.
No,
cafe
it's not let's laugh of a Friday night while we have our eggs Benedict. But it was great. It was so packed.
Yeah.
It was probably a 40-seat room with nearly twice as many in there. It was a hot show. So Finally Mine Cafe in Traralgon. Get around them. And hello to Cade and the King family.
I know the background to that. We probably won't discuss. But
no, we don't need to go there.
If you don't believe him, just check out their Google reviews. You'll see it's a great place to go.
Yeah, it's been slow. Yeah, I've heard. And then Saturday night we were in Phillip Island.
We were,
which was a great show. I got to close out the show, which was a lot of fun. And great audience. Thanks to all the team there at Ocean Reach Brewing, and I had a great weekend, and just
what a ripper lineup! What a ripper three-peat, 3 great nights in a row. That's very rare to get 3 good nights in a row, I'd imagine.
And to be fair, every night I thought, wow, the next night could not possibly top this one, and every night it just got better and better and better. So yeah, I had a great weekend. That show on Saturday night was a hot crowd,
fun crowds. I loved being out in Phillip Island. They were really into it. What were some of your highlights? I've seen you already post a few clips of that gig.
left the stage, the audience impromptu started chanting.
Dooley,
Yeah.
Dooley, Dooley.
That was pretty. And then they did again, at least a group of them when they left as well. I saw them as they were walking out of the venue. One of them just started, and then they all started doing it. So that was cool. It was just a hot audience, and a lot of people, a lot of great people there wanted to have a chat after the show. Some people had never been to comedy before, and some people were big comedy fans. So it was a great night.
Shout out to Ocean Reach and the people of Phillip Island.
Yeah, how was your week?
Sure, it was great. I mean, obviously kept up that show. Pretty chill one gig wise. Friday night I was in Patterson Lakes.
Yep.
Never heard of it before.
Sounds like a suburb, like a fictional suburb in like the Neighbours universe.
Yeah, it could be.
It's like next door to Erinsborough.
I think it's a actual suburb in the Water Rats. Because right on the lake of very Miami vibes, sort of a lot of
Grand
big
Theft Auto, Vice City sort of vibes.
That kind of vibe, which was very nice. But the venue is called Cragen's. Have a guess at what type of food you reckon they sold there. Cragen's. What vibes does that give you? Scottish, right?
Yeah.
Irish kind of pub fare. Yeah. No, it was a Filipino restaurant, which I thought was quite interesting, which is very good. Which leads me to my next point, because we talk about this a lot, and we do get pulled up on it about smugglers, that for a sports and comedy podcast, we sure do talk about food a lot.
Yeah, we do.
We do talk about food. I got 2 free meals. I want us to start tracking our free meals and start ranking them.
Yep.
Personally, so on Saturday night, Ocean Reach Brewing. I don't know if this might be my best free meal I've ever had in comedy. The fish burger there at Ocean Reach Brewing. Fish burger fraught with danger.
You buy the ocean at least there.
Yeah, exactly. But I've had some bad ones in my time. Best fish burger I've ever had. Straight to the top. Chips were great. Everything was good. The night before at Cragen's, which if you remember is a Filipino restaurant, I should have known, but I got a chicken curry, bone-in chicken curry, Dools. What are your thoughts on bone-in meals?
Yeah, it's not... Look, it's not my first preference or second or third, and it's always a shock when you do get it on accident.
It was very scary. I did warn, I was with Oaksy there. We got the same meal. I did have to warn him because I worry, you've seen him attack food before. An old fella with, a bone-in chicken. I thought that might have been his last gig ever, but we made it out alive. But fish burger number 1, bone-in chicken far down. Did you get any free meals in the last week?
Because of where I have been on the lineups, I don't like to eat beforehand. I had lots of food offered that I turned down, including that fish burger. You did say it was very good. But I was thinking about my favorite sort of, like probably my top 3, I think, for like free food at a venue.
Yep.
I'll go from 3 down to 1 here.
I love this.
All right, so number 3 would be the Perth Comedy Lounge.
Okay.
Like you don't even have to ask; they just bring it into the green room, a selection of stuff, and it's light, so it's like you don't feel bad whether it's like fries or like pizza or whatever. Like you can smash a few slices and stuff and still go on stage, not feel sluggish. Love that. That's good. Perth Comedy Lounge, best venue in the country, I think. I'm there in July and August. Number 2 would be the Frankston Brew House.
Oh, yes.
Which I believe I spoke about last week, purely because you get full range of the menu.
Yep.
Not like, just the burgers or like just the snacks. Like you can pick anything you want on the menu. You can get a grazing plate for 2 just for yourself if you want. And number 1 would be... in Darwin at the Last Supper, because you get pizza. And it's fresh out of the oven, and it's a full pizza, and they really they'll customize it to however you like it. Thin base, thicker, good people, good food. Big fan.
Good top 3. Love that top 3. Shout out to the Last Supper. All right, Jules. It's been a big week in sport, but it also has been a big week in the comment section. Let's start off with maybe some of the more constructive comments that we've had this week.
Okay, this came from Tessie. This was an in-person one. Hello, Tessie. Was at Brunswick, my show on Thursday night, asking me what comedians do I like or what specials do I really enjoy watching. Stevie B, who are your go-tos?
Who are my go-tos? I mean, right now, I do love watching anything Shane Gillis does. I think he's probably at the top of the game when it comes to a special. And Nate Bargatze in terms of the two sort of modern day comedians that are currently releasing stuff. I love that. And then I don't mind going back and watching maybe an old one like a Chappelle from the early noughties or something like that. Or having a look at comedians that are doing well now, but maybe looking at their first or so and just looking at the gap of what's happened there. So that's probably my go-to. But to be honest with you, I watch less specials now than I did before I started comedy because I'm super conscious and aware. So like Anthony Jeselnik's one of my favorites. And then when I started doing comedy, not consciously, but subconsciously, there was definitely a cadence and a rhythm and a style to my shtick that was basically a poor version of Anthony Jeselnik. So I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on that.
And then I'll come back to like comedians in our scene as well.
Yes.
The great thing about Jeselnik is you can tell when someone has watched a lot of Jeselnik because they just try and do it so poorly. And there's so many of these edgelords in the comedy scene. Similar to you, Nate Bargatze, huge fan. Love his approach, love his style. I watch for different reasons. Andrew Schultz, I'm a big fan of. I like how he sort of constructs the story arc leading into a special. I think that he's really clever in that regard. Mike Birbiglia, big fan of. Eliza Schlesinger.
Yep.
Huge fan. Like she's up there for me. I think she's so good. And Daniel Sloss.
Oh, really?
Yeah, big fan of the Sloss King. I think he's really good. Closer to home in Australia, I could watch Nick Capper. He's so good.
True.
He's the man. I froth Capper. Dan Connell, big fan of. Talking about Bron Lewis before. She's great. That'd be my top three closer to home to watch. What about yourself?
Yeah, no, I think you nailed it. Definitely Capper. Closer to home, I just feel like I see them all the time and I wouldn't actually go out of my way to watch a special unless it was they'll ask some people, they wanted the views or whatever. So, interesting.
Yep.
Cool. And do you find yourself watching comedy more or less now that you do it yourself?
Running into this year and my show Daddy Cool, a couple of people sort of warned me off a few specials. So I kind of retreat back and I don't watch much when I'm in the sort of the development phase. And then sort of this time of year, like I'm probably playing catch up and watching a few, but generally probably not. I see enough comedy.
Yep. No.
You don't want things to kind of seep in and, who actually wrote that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So totally. All right. We've got some stuff here in the comments section. These are from TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. This was about the Lando Norris and English sports.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that one.
Captain K, it was outraged, not necessarily about what we were talking about, but Captain K has written, what's even bigger, KO announced they are upping their service to $30 a month. Sorry, not paying to just watch F1 for only $30 a month. As much as I love my sports, I've got rid of it for namesake. I don't understand that. And really want others to join. We protest over matters like war, but never stand up for what's happening in our own country. We need to say to these big rip-off companies, enough is enough. We need to create noise. The more people post on this platform and talk about it, the more notice they may take and do something about it. Captain K is outraged about
Aye, Captain.
KO.
It was quite a long rant.
Yeah.
And then I think we might have done a 2-word answer. Then he did another rant.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And look, I agree. I think KO's a rip off. So I mean, I don't have it anymore. It's too expensive.
Yeah.
For what you get from it. Like the only real value for it is like if you need to watch AFL on a Saturday specifically. Otherwise, you can kind of find everything else.
Yeah, I couldn't live without it, unfortunately. F1, as the captain mentioned, but footy, I might turn it off after the footy season, but even then, I'll probably stick it to the end of the F1 season, which is like December, and then basketball's starting to pick up. So it is hard to get off the KO teat.
That's how they get you.
It is how they get you. All right.
Do you want to take this one?
I'll take this one, and then maybe we'll just cherry because there's a lot of comments. So across, I've just found there's a few more comments that have So we didn't know this until this week, but TikTok filters your comments.
Yeah, folded comments at the bottom.
Because they think they're too insulting or too offensive. But obviously we've been letting them all through. But obviously we were talking last week. We got a question on TikTok who we thought was the most overrated sports person in Australia. You said Nathan Lyon.
Yep. And my rationale, I think, still holds up. And my rationale behind Nathan Lyon is because people quote how many wickets and stuff that he's taken, but there's cricket inflation at the moment because there's so much test cricket. So he doesn't stack up to sort of the previous generations.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe most people are talking about your take and not mine.
I don't know about that.
But obviously my take...
all talking about yours.
My take was that Donald Bradman was the most overrated sports person in Australia because he averaged 99.9 runs per innings, not per over, as about 4,000 people pointed out.
It's famously 99.94.
99.94, and also, who'd he play against? One of my favourite ones, which
Verity.
is, I did mention that, what was the 1920s Pakistan spin bowler lineup like, to which Bikram Jot Singh mentioned Pakistan didn't exist in 1920, brother. Just for your knowledge, which is good to know, actually.
Yeah,
so we've all learned a lot this week. What were some of your favourite takes?
Jordan _Hannaford, clickbait, pure and simple. And no, I will not listen to your podcast. Well, I did a bit of a deep dive on Jordan. Jordan runs a mobile bartending service, which looks basic as. And so, Jordan, we're not going to be using you to make espresso martinis or whatever it is you do.
Yeah, that's it. We don't care if you listen or not. I like John Kay. 99 runs per over, in quotation marks. Might as well say Lance Franklin was the last to score 1,000 tries. And which
clever.
I replied, we actually got to run out on the field when he scored his 1,000th touchdown. Was sick, which I was pretty happy with. What else you got?
From Twit Talk O. Classical case of talking and removing all doubt the level of cluelesses.
Some of the spelling in these
Some of the grammar in these people talking about knowledge is amazing.
This person doesn't even have a name. He said, this podcast was fun while it lasted. We're still here. We're still here. We're still proud.
JMac23. Lion, 100%. JMac gets it.
You picked
JMac
out a one that backed you
also
up.
traded in his childhood sweetheart for a gold digger who'll drop him as soon as he stops playing cricket. Facts on your JMac.
Yeah, good one, J-Mac. What else we got?
Dylan Frost. I can agree with Nathan Lyon. He's bloody average.
Where are you finding these things?
On TikTok.
Oh, no. Why do we let morons do podcasts?
Here's one from Dan. Typical Aussies, not a brain cell in sexistence between them. The irony of that. Dan.
No. Excuse me, you guys are being so disrespectful. All right, Julia George.
Aussie Steel 82. Clickbait from a guy who's nothing about cricket and Christian history. Cricket and cricket history. That's a really confusing sentence. Clickbait from a guy who's nothing about cricket and cricket history.
Wow. I have gone there. Yeah, there's still some more that aren't allowed to be on there. There was someone that mentioned about whatever. Look, here's some supportive one. Look, there is footage of Sir Dom batting against balls that bounced twice.
Mm-hmm.
And someone else said something else that supported me. So, look, you can't make everyone happy, I guess is what we're trying to say, Dools. You got some more there? I think Instagram's been going off lately as well.
Saying 99 runs per over proves this guy's IQ. Lol, it was an average. Bad grammar in that sentence as well. Please, can we make purchasing podcast equipment require some sort of qualification? Face palm emoji. Very interesting. Dustin Martin was put in here as overrated. And then you wrote fair call, and then he wrote, I know.
Yeah, someone said about not being people should have a license to purchase podcast equipment, to which I replied, we hire it. There was a lot going on.
Yeah, here's another one from Mephisto, and he spelt that wrong. You have 132 followers. Not true. Bradman's highest test score is 334, and you think he's overrated. Yeah, he played for 20 years. We've been doing this podcast for, 4 months?
Yeah, exactly.
So give us 20 years on this podcast. We'll see how we're going there, Mephisto, with a emoji for a photo.
But it has been fun. And thank you. We do support. We like all of the comments and the support that we've been getting over on particularly TikTok, which has been very, very fun.
Very vocal.
Very vocal.
TikTok.
Very vocal.
Very vocal with very, very bad grammar.
Some shocking grammar.
Questioning intelligence and knowledge, and then not spelling things or writing things down correctly.
Me thinks they doth protest too much, Jules. The vitriol and the numbers that came in for that made me think, I think maybe I might be onto something here, and people are getting very defensive about it.
Just outrage people into boosting our numbers.
Yeah, which I'll take. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I don't have any hot takes this week, so send in more listener questions, please, because we love sparking some ideas that sets the internet on fire.
Absolutely. I tell you what, been a big week. Before we get into Aussie Sport,
oh yeah, okay.
Can I talk about
the trade?
My Rockets.
How are you feeling about the fleece of the century?
What a trade for you. Now, look, I'm a big Jalen Green fan. Wasn't a big Dylan Brooks fan until he came to Houston. Huge Dylan Brooks fan.
He's very much, this could be a top 5 for a future, top 5 people that you'd only like if they're on your team.
Absolutely.
He's definitely that type of player.
Yeah. Culture setter, big fan. I think that's going to hurt more than losing Jalen Green. But KD slots straight in. We kept nearly all of our young core, and it opens up more minutes having KD for players like Tari Eason, Jabari, and Amen and Whitmore and Reed Shepherd.
Well, that's the thing, I think, is that, yes, you're losing Dylan Brooks, but what you're going to replace him with, like Whitmore, Thompson, they can do what he does a lot cheaper and probably over the long term a lot better as well.
Absolutely. So big fan of that. Might have to get myself a KD jersey. I've got a Jalen Green Rockets one, so now it's like,
yeah.
And I've got a Harden one.
What do you think Houston can do now in the Western Conference after we just saw what, and we'll talk about them in a sec, the Thunder did do?
Yeah, that was having a half-court reliable closer was what probably cost us in the playoffs. So I think having that in KD, hopefully he stays injury-free. That'll be the big test. But I think with him and then another year of development from all the other players, I think we're going to, go far.
So Houston versus OKC in next year's Western Conference Finals.
I reckon it's a good chance. Yeah.
Yeah. Who are the other contenders? Minnesota could be back there again.
Minnesota
Denver's always
there.
a chance.
Denver, but, unless they get a bit of help for the Joker, they'll probably just second round.
Yep.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, speaking of basketball, Australia has another NBA champion in Alex Ducas.
Yes.
After the OKC win in a Game 7 against Indiana. What did you think of Alex's performance, not just in the finals, but throughout the playoffs, Dools?
Key, part of their rotation and team. Real vibe trendsetter, I think, for them.
Absolutely.
They had a guy, OKC, who, let me find this guy's name because I can't remember off the top of my head. Nikola Topic, first player to win an NBA title without even playing an NBA game because they drafted him and he'd done his ACL.
Correct.
So he hasn't played yet, still gets a ring.
It is bizarre that you can. Well, I suppose you're on the squad, but if you go to like Bleacher Report or anywhere you look up stats, his name wasn't even listed.
Nope.
But whatever, good on him. We've got another one that takes us to 9 Australians who have won an NBA title. Mm-hmm. Can you name all 9? I think you'll get close, but I don't think you'll get. I don't think you'll get all 9.
Okay.
Let's go.
All right. Luke Longley.
Nailed it.
Are we counting all of the times he won, or just 9 different
9
Australians?
players? Yep.
Okay. Luke Longley, Alex Ducas.
Yep.
Andrew Gaze.
Yep.
Aaron Baines.
Yep.
Paddy Mills.
Yep.
Andrew Bogut.
Yep.
Oh, 3 more. I'm trying to think who's won recently.
One you should get, one's a technicality, and one I don't think you will get.
One I should get, one's a technicality. Shane Heal?
No.
No. Does Brett Brown count?
He does not.
Okay, so coaches don't count.
Coaches don't
Just
count.
players.
Just players. One is still playing in the NBL. One is
Delhi.
Yep.
Yep.
And then one is you wouldn't necessarily consider him Australian off the top of your head, maybe.
Kyrie. Yep.
And then the last one I don't think you'll get, 2023 Denver Nuggets.
Jack White.
There you go. Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yep.
So that's 9, which is pretty great.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pound for pound.
It was a bit of a disappointing end to the finals, wasn't it?
It was, as soon as Halliburton went down, it was just kind of a bit of a non-event for me.
Yeah. But it was good to see Furphy get 1 minute at the end of the game. So one of our loyal smugglers who's been with us since day one, Bruno, I'd be very happy about that. Sorry.
Should have given him more.
You might have won. Tell you who did win. Australian Min Ji Lee.
Yes. Max G. Lee, you mean?
Yes, Max G. Lee. She's won her 3rd major LPGA title of her career, claiming a 3-shot win at the PGA Championship.
We're talking golf.
We're talking golf, baby.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah, I think that's all you can say. Min Ji Lee. Her brother is Min Woo Lee, by the way. Yeah,
okay,
I confirmed that since last time we spoke. So, I mean, the odds of 2 Australians, one called Min Ji Lee and Min Woo Lee.
Yep.
But how many brother-sister combos are good at sport who also have the first name the same?
Not many.
No. Well, I know it's a minimum 1.
Yeah.
It's a min 2, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
Technically, but
I mean, what about siblings who have names of the opposite gender?
Okay, give me
Stephen and Matthew Phoebe, who played footy.
Yeah, okay.
There you go. Phoebe, opposite gender.
Yep, very good. That was a stretch.
Yep.
What else is happening?
Longbow. The Queensland Reds.
I think it's the Reds.
The Maroons. Maroons or Maroons?
I think it's Maroons. I know they're morons.
They won State of Origin in Perth. somewhere. They won a game in State of Origin. Why are they called the Maroons?
Do you want to look that up?
Yeah.
What is it? Kind of like the red state, blue state, kind of the north and the south.
Why are they not called Maroons?
I can't imagine people in Queensland are smart enough to come up with something that's not a colour.
The Queensland, it's nicknamed the Maroons after the colour of their jersey. But if you saw that colour, you would say that's like behind you.
Yeah.
That's maroon.
Yeah.
You don't say, oh, that's maroon.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? Like
I guess the question is, the 5th ever state of origin, is that who Maroon 5 named their band
probably.
after?
Yeah. This love is that Maroon 5?
That's Maroon 5.
Yeah.
Great. That's classic.
Come on. That's all I know.
Great album. Songs about James.
Sure.
Yeah.
The Wiz.
Yeah, the Wiz is in the news again.
Warwick Capper banned from attending all AFL matches. I think a 5-year ban after alleged inappropriate behaviour at last year's grand final, which was, of course, the Warwick Capper trophy that they were playing for.
It was.
Apparently he got a bit, below the belt, so to speak.
Is there a less surprising headline you've ever read in your entire life?
So I know someone who played local footy with Capper 10 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was still running around doing cashies, doing that sort of like
come play a game, do the sportsman.
Exactly, take a percentage of the bar. But he went to training all week, and apparently every time, like, he commentates himself in all the drills. So when they're doing like lane work as a warm up, he's like, whiz. Every time, whiz. Just marking on his own, whiz. Love that. I love that so much.
Kappa. I don't think it's a great loss to the AFL. He's not making it. I tell you what is a great loss. What's happening over at Tottenham? Spurs chairman Daniel Levy says sacking Ange Postecoglou was difficult but right move. What do you say, Dools?
I would say, what does Daniel Levy know? And he has demonstrated year after year that he knows nothing. Going through managers left, right, and centre, and they finally win something, and then they still give him the flick. They don't give him a chance to run it back with a healthy squad. Maybe invest in the squad, Mr. Levy. There's an idea. You know nothing, and your track record proves you know nothing. That's what I think about that. All right. Oh, here we go. Australia's Liam Parro takes on American Jonathan Navarro. Navajo?
I think he's Native American.
Jonathan Navarro in a huge bout in Cairns this week.
Huge bout, Dools.
What sport is it? Boxing?
It's boxing.
Okay,
I think it's boxing.
Cool. Does Liam Parro have a nickname? Because you really only need to add one letter to his surname, and he's Liam Parrot.
True. Very true.
The King Parrot.
I don't know if he has a nickname. I'm going to look that up. Give me a few more nicknames that you would give him.
Liam the Budgerigar Parro.
Liam the paraplegic.
Yeah. Liam paralytic. Liam, maybe it's Paho, and he's like, how the Brazilians, they pronounce the R-A-H.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Liam Paho, like that.
According to Tapology, his nickname is the Prodigy.
Fighters need to have better nicknames.
Well, original nicknames.
Yeah, exactly, because they're all like the Prodigy, the Pitbull, the Assassin, or like just come up with something. Not like Bilal Muhammad. He's got the shittest nickname in sport. Remember the name. Like,
I always forget what his nickname is as well.
Yeah, I know. He's got so bad. So bad.
Did you see he came out below? He did an interview this week about how he lost and how he just threw out the game plan, which was to take down our man, Jack Della Maddalena, the middleweight champion of the world.
Giacomo.
Welterweight.
Welterweight.
Giacomo. And that was their whole plan leading into the fight. And then he said he got in there and he just felt good. And he got destroyed.
Yeah, he got touched up.
It was very good.
Oof.
Liam, the I'm going to make you a, in quotation marks, Parro, open quotation marks, paraplegic.
yeah.
So that's original.
That is original. Liam the plegic.
Yeah. All right. This guy, I know you love him. Alex de Minaur admitted he was not up for the level after being stunned by Jiří Lehečka at Queens in a straight sets loss. Oh, boy. How do you think the Demon's going to go at Wimbledon this year? It must be coming up soon. This is the warm-up event for it.
Sure. Yep, I don't think he'll win. He might make the... All right, I'll predict...
Oh, shit, it started last night.
Oh, there you go. I'll predict that
Qualifies.
de Minaur will make the third round.
You don't think he can make the fourth?
No, I think, well, he might win his third round, go into the fourth, and then he's out.
Amazing. In breaking news today, Lee 2 has won their qualifier. I'm going to go his qualifier against D. Galan in the Wimbledon qualifiers. What are you expecting out of Lee 2?
Oh.
Are we expecting the start of the Lee 2 movement?
Yeah, I was like... That's very good. Lee 2 or Lee as well, as they are known by. That's what I thought you. I was like, oh, he's really saying the sentence really bad. I didn't know Lee 2 was a person.
Sure
I spelt like that. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think they'll go out straight sets.
They'll go out straight sets?
Yeah.
All right. Well, they haven't even qualified yet.
Oh, there you go. They're not even. May not even make it.
He's world 164.
Oof.
Oh God, he's 29. He's doing qualifiers. That's not good.
Yeah, he needs to, have some thoughts.
I think so. What do you think about this? Gout Gout says his preference is the 200 meters over the 100 meters, Doors.
I mean, look at this. Look at how he's put together. I think that makes sense. But he's got that like lanky sort of frame, and I could see him doing some damage in 200. Like the 100, they're a lot more powerfully built. Sure. Usain Bolt was like sort of one out of the box, very different frame to all the others, who are, much more power focused. I think Gout Gout could do some damage at 200. Then we could have Kennedy at 100 and Gout Gout at 200.
I like that. I like your theory. Is he aware that it's twice as long as the other race?
I know,
and you get paid the same?
Yep. But I would say almost you probably get paid less, surely.
Yeah, actually, you would get paid less.
Because 100 is that's the one everyone wants to watch. That's the marquee.
That's the only one you'd want to watch, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. What else we got? I've got a question for you, Duels.
Far away.
The AFL has bought Waverley Park.
Jesus. Yep.
What could they do with it?
What are they saying they're going to do with it? That's the interesting thing. Our AFL will be like, oh yeah, we're going to like open it up for some community sport, and then never let anyone on it.
No, I want some good ideas. Like not this one, but like the AFL Hall of Fame. Something big, something grand that they can make it into something. A casino maybe. I
reckon there used to be, back in the day, there used to be this, I think it was the end of the season that had the AFL Sensation. And it was like essentially like an interactive theme park thing. Okay. Everything was footy focused.
Oh, yeah.
So like you could kick through like mini goals that were like moving. You could have your like photo taken, superimposed, taken a specky, all sorts of stuff. All the players would be there. So I think because it's in a shit area. Like I've been there, when I was working in sport, when I was working in footy, I went out there to Waverley and, they had a coffee with some of the people there, and it's literally just in amongst houses.
Yeah, is it really?
So I think turn it into a theme park.
I like that.
Aussie rules theme park.
I love that. I would go.
Yeah.
If I had kids, I'd take them.
Yeah.
Maybe if I'm babysitting someone, I could take a kid there.
I think that's
Kick some goals. You have some ex-players running around. Dipper interviewing people. You can have the Warwick Capper lounge where he hosts speed dating and stuff. Which is fun.
Because it's not a game, so he's allowed, you know.
Exactly. He could be there, spokesman. I like that. AFL footy theme park.
Yep.
All right. That's what they're going to do. Take that to the bank. Write that down.
Yep. That's what I reckon.
All right. It's crazy. The craziest thing in the NBA is that on the day of a Game 7, biggest game they've had in a long time. Game 7s, there's only been 20 in the history of the NBA, Game 7s of finals. It was kind of overshadowed by the fact that your man, KD, got picked up by the Houston Rockets. And then in 2 days' time, they have an NBA draft as well.
Is that only in a couple of days?
Wednesday. Wednesday, really? American, Thursday, Australian time.
That's wild.
It is wild.
That's so soon.
Exactly. But I thought we could quickly run through. We've got 4 names that are looking likely to get picked up in the draft duels. Take us through the first one.
Okay, I've got Alex Tui from the Sydney Kings. I don't think he looked maybe in the second round.
Second round?
Maybe.
All right. Do you want to pick a number?
I would say it'd be like sort of 45 to 55. Like late second
round.
Yeah.
All right. He's good. I like that. We've also got Rocco Zikarski.
Yep.
Big Rocco. He's big. 7'3", barefoot. Played for the Brisbane Bullets in the NBL. It's awesome to see all these players playing for the NBL and then going on to the NBA. Again, probably looks likely to be picked up in the second round. But, I mean, you can't go past a 7'3" sweet shooting big man, can you?
I mean, true. He just didn't show enough in the NBL this season. So he didn't do what they were hoping for. So they're going, they'll be going purely on potential and trying to think. I mean, ESPN has him going also in the second round at 41. I don't think he'll get drafted. You think
he'll go as an undrafted free agent?
Yep.
What kind of team could? It's hard because it's no good team's going to take a big man that needs development, are they?
No. He'll have to go G. Look, he might get it'd be a late second round flyer would happen, he'd be left in the G League for a while. Maybe a two-way sort of deal.
Two-way deal ski. Do you think, what do you think about, because he is kind of a little bit taller version of other Houston Rocket, Jock Landale. What do you think the KD trade's going to impact on Jock?
No, I don't think it'll.
Stephen Adams getting re-signed.
Well, because Adams won't play every game. They'll try and nurse him through so he's ready for playoffs. So Landale will get plenty of minutes throughout the season. Landale himself knows that he's good enough to be, a backup center for a good team, starting center for a shit team. But he said, at Houston, we've got some big boys who will all get injured. We all play different roles. He'll be ready.
All right. I love that. There's also Tyrese Proctor from Duke. He played with number 1 draft Cooper Flag, as well as top 10 potential draft pick Conker Nipple. Good name. The Tyrese, the Dr. Proctor.
Yeah. Theologist. Yeah.
the
proctorologist. Yeah. So there were huge hopes on Tyrese Proctor a couple of years ago.
Yes.
They thought he would go more towards the pointy end and hasn't developed as they hoped, especially on the offensive end, not as assertive as a shooter and scorer. His athleticism potentially a little bit limited. I think he'll get drafted. I think he'll get drafted for a team that needs a good sort of backup point guard who sort of, keeps the ball safe, keeps it moving around, will score when he's open and take the shot, but is sort of looking to just keep things steady. That Utah spot that ESPN have him, I think that's probably there or thereabouts, sort of in that region. Could see him going to Golden State, actually, at 41. That's sort of like, just keep the ball moving, pass it to the scorers.
Smart player, makes the right decisions. I mean, he averaged 12.4 points for a Duke with 2 sort of top 10 draft picks, including Cooper Flag, and also 40% from 3 for the career. They're not bad numbers.
I mean, NBA Draft Net has him at 39 to Toronto.
Okay.
So,
They need shooting.
Yeah.
They need guards. They've got 3 of the exact same player.
And interestingly, they've got Rocco Zikarsky at 53 to Utah and Alex Tui at 56 to Memphis.
Okay. All right. There's one last draft potential, Duels.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk about Lachlan Olbrich?
Yes, out of the Illawarra Hawks. Who am I talking about? Is there someone from the Perth Wildcats this year?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Look, he's probably the most like Jock Landale.
Got you.
That sort of tough, will do the dirty work, not super athletic. He's not going to be swatting shots, as a help side defender, but good team man. Will be lucky to get drafted, but if it does happen, it'll be very late in the draft, in the 50s.
Yeah.
I think, maybe a New York or maybe even someone like the Grizzlies.
Grizzlies could use him.
Yeah.
Zach Edey's out for most of the next season already.
There you go.
All right. Good fit. I'd like it. I don't know. What's the most we've ever had? I think the most we've ever had is like 2 or 3, isn't it?
There was one year in the 90s, I think it was, where it was like CJ Bruton, Ben Pepper, Brad Newley all got drafted in the second round. None of them made the leap, but how's that off the top of the dome?
That was pretty good.
I was pretty happy with that.
Good.
Yeah.
And everyone on TikTok thinks we don't know what we're talking about.
Exactly.
Stopped. All right, Duels.
But how would you rate, though, looking at the NBA season, now that it's done, how would you rate it for the Aussies for this previous season? Like, do you think the Aussies did well? Do you think we didn't do well? Who was your standout Australian player?
I think we did great.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's one of our best. We've never had a season where 2 Aussies have been rocking and rolling, have we? We've had some okay Luke Longley seasons, but he's been part of some amazing seasons for the Chicago Bulls. We've had some Andrew Bogut All-NBA 3rd seasons. We've had some Ben Simmons All-Star and NBA All-2nd or 3rd team as well. So some standout individual seasons, but we saw an explosion with Josh Giddey, who dominated the second half of the season.
He did.
I think the highlight for any Aussie, or second biggest highlight, would be that game-winning shot over LeBron in Chicago. And then our man, Dyson Daniels, all defensive first team and NBA's most improved player. That's a huge season for a guy only about 3 years in.
A guy who doesn't know what a Palmer is.
Yeah, well, I mean, we can't. Nobody's perfect, Jules. Nobody's perfect. But then scattered throughout the league, we had, your Jock Landales. We had... God, we didn't have much else to be.
We didn't have much Paddy Mills this year.
Not much Paddy.
Got a little bit.
Some vet leadership on the bench and behind the scenes. I'm sure they added a lot. Ben Simmons did a little bit here and there. Alex Ducas won a title. Johnny Furphy had his moments.
Yep.
So I think I think we're building strength on strength, and the fact that we've got 4 players potentially going in this year's draft is another step in the right direction. What about you?
Yeah, look, I agree. I thought overall it was a bit of a mixed bag. I think, you take Josh and Dyson out and it was disappointing, but those 2 really flew the flag. Great seasons, great hair from Josh Giddey, and really
wonderful.
Yeah,
Dyson's got underrated hair
Dyson,
as well. To be
fair. Apparently Dyson.
Great nickname season.
Yeah, I think Dyson also does well off court from what we hear.
He does.
So,
I saw him. He was at a press conference. You're the king of the nickname. He asked Lou Dort in a press conference, "Who has the better nickname? Is it the Great Barrier Thief or is it the Dorture Chamber?" Which are 2 great nicknames.
Yeah, that is. Yeah. That's a good. I mean, Lou Dort is a good name. Like if you say it like
2
that,
syllables.
Yeah,
strong.
The only way it'd be better is if Lou Dort was from the Victorian regional town of Bort. So it'd be Lou Dort from Bort. Whoa.
Yeah,
that's a good name, I think. But he's not. He's Canadian. Josh Giddey, Dyson Daniels, and then coming in like you branded like my top 3 Aussies in the NBA. Controversial. Joe Ingles, just that leadership presence.
Yep.
Can't quantify it, but, they loved him in Minnesota.
They did. Suck on that, Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Speaking about tops, you just gave a top 3. How about you do you have a top 5 you want to give the listeners?
Always, I've got a top 5. All right. So there was a lot of chat on TikTok that we don't know what the hell we're talking about and that we need to research and stuff like that. And look, we sometimes don't do any research most of the time, and we also don't really care.
In reaction to that as well, we should mention, I think A, it's a comedy podcast, relax, and B, it's cricket. No one cares. Literally no one cares except for you couple of hundred people on TikTok getting ants in your pants.
All right, so I'm going to do a cricket-based one here now, though.
Fuck yes.
This is my top 5 Aussie cricketers who deserved more.
Oh, okay, so this is a positive... Yeah, come on, let's get behind them. Top 5 cricketers that deserved more.
Yes, exactly. Coming in at number 5, former Victorian paceman.
No.
Who am I going to say?
No, because he's a batsman, but he should be on this list.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah. I'm not sure there. Victorian paceman, the big swervin' Mervyn Hughes.
Oh, he deserved more?
Deserved more.
Yeah, he deserved more.
Deserved more.
Well, he went over to World Series of Cricket, didn't he? And then
Sure. I remember when I was playing under-10s football at Corpus Christi in Glenroy and Oak Park there. He came and gave us a pre-match rev-up speech.
Oh, how good's that?
And that's what you want when you're playing under-10s football is a cricketer to tell you to fire up and to bash your opponents.
He'd still be in his prime, wouldn't he? Or a little bit past his prime?
I think it's hard to tell because he didn't really have a very svelte figure. So
he deserved more beers.
He deserved more. Okay, coming in at number 4, Aussie cricketers who deserved more. Richard Cheekwee.
Nobody's been stronger on the bandwagon of Richard Cheekwee than the bloody budgies.
He was an icon in the Mercantile Mutual Cup.
Yep.
And unfortunately was in an era where Australia was stacked in the middle order, so he couldn't get a look in. Deserved more. Coming in at number 3. Another Victorian now. We've 2 of the 3 are Victorian so far. Brad Hodge.
Brad Hodge,
who is a New South Wales bias. He was smacking runs like they were nobody's business in the test team. As soon as he had like one bad little moment, bang, gone. That's it. Done. Finished. Gone.
Disgraceful. It was that war era, was it? Where war was
and sort of like, at the tail end of that, like he scored a double ton and was like gone a test or 2 later. It was...
That New South Wales bias, you are correct. Do you have any more Victorians? Because I've got a Victorian.
Oh, I do. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Oh, yeah. Sweet. Number 1 is going to be Victoria. Number 2, former West Australian fast bowler, Joe Angel.
Oh.
Just because he's just an awkward-looking man.
Never heard of him.
He comes in bowling and you're like, oh, is he okay? He looks a bit awkward. He looks like he'd be your centre half forward who his sole goal is to bring the ball to the ground. Like he's not there to kick goals, not there to mark it. His goal is to create a contest.
Very good. He only played 4 tests for Australia.
Deserved more.
Scored 35.
Yep.
Best bowling, 3 for 54. That's not bad.
Yeah. He was a bowler.
Yeah.
So, maybe that's why he didn't get more. Coming in at number 1. If you are Victorian of a certain age, this man has to be at your number 1 list. I'm talking about the icon. I'm talking about
Dean Jones.
Yes.
As soon as you've mentioned this thing, I was like, if Dean Jones is not on this list, if not number 1, we might have to reconsider doing this podcast because he was screwed.
He was bent over because he wasn't from New South Wales, didn't play your little games. Tell you, if Dean Jones was around in the modern era of cricket where there's cricket every day of the week, he would tear up T20.
T20, he would have destroyed.
He would take the piss.
He would have been he would have been the number 1 draft pick in that IPL stuff, paid millions in T20.
He was charging bowlers he was charging, dancing down the pitch to Fanny de Villiers.
Yes.
From South Africa and just smacking him down. Oh, what a gun. Dino, we love you, not just because you're Victorian, but because you are the man.
Well, that's why he deserved more. Is
Way
what he
more.
Deserved
Way more.
way more. Great list, Jules. Couple
Thank
I'd
you.
never heard of. Cheeky gets more play on this podcast. And I think there's cricket podcasts that have never mentioned Cheeky more than once on there.
Darren Berry was stiff.
Darren
I was
Berry's a
going
good
to, get him in there. Colin Miller, not stiff.
No, he had a real good run.
He had a good run.
He had a good
yeah,
run.
yeah. But I was nearly going to do another list, which was going to feature him, but I went with this one.
There you go. How dare anyone says we don't know anything about cricket? The keyword being we as opposed to...
Bryce McGain probably could have got a bit of love. No, he didn't deserve it.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Anything else before we go over to the power rankings, Duels?
Look, I think that's it for me.
All right, sweet. Here we go, Duels. Not a ton of... there's maybe a little bit of controversy this week. At number 10... I didn't know where to put this. Our number 10 could have been anywhere from off the list completely to number 1, but at number 10, I've gone with Australia's newest NBA champion, Alex Ducas, at 10.
I mean, based on his contributions, probably shouldn't be anywhere near the top 10.
Exactly.
But did just get a ring, so that gets him.
But also, could he not be on top? Who else has done anything in the power rankings this week?
Johnny Furphy got on the court.
That is true. But Alex Ducas at number 10 for his big fight coming up in Cairns. Liam, I'm going to make them a paraplegic at number 9. At number 8, I've still got Jess Fox, who's been tearing it up in the kayaking scene. At number 7, he kicked another 5 goals on the weekend. Sam Darcy, is there a better player in the AFL or a more dangerous player in the AFL?
I mean, Darce played well. To be fair, Noah Bolter had an absolute stinker.
Didn't watch the game, but I heard nothing but bad things.
It was Noah Bolter is getting a game right now on reputation, not on output.
Should he take the rest of the year off until his little nightcap thing? What's it called? His curfew's over.
Yeah, wouldn't be a bad move.
All right. At number 6, I've brought back in. He's making big impacts here. It's Bronson Reed in the WWE.
Jonah Rock.
Yeah, Jonah Rock is back. He's kicking butts. At number 5, she's made it. She just hammered the competition in the heat stages in the surfing. Guacamole Picklum.
The guac.
Can she win her first season win thing? Duel. She's due.
Guac and roll, baby.
Guac and roll. Is she going to guac and roll in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil? They're about to move over to the elimination rounds, I think. Oh, wait. Have they already done the elimination rounds? Maybe. Maybe not. Who cares? Guac's in the finals. Whatever. Breaking news. It's happening right now. Number 4 and number 3, respectively, they've somehow gone up, even though they haven't done anything. JDM and Alexander Volkanovski, world champions.
Stable.
World champ. This whole thing is full of champions. At number 2, he's been dropped down. They had a week off. He's number 1 in the world rankings. In the F1, it's Oscar Piastri.
Yep.
And in number 1, anytime you win a major in anything, you go straight to the top. It's Minjee Lee for a win in the Players' Championship in the LPGA. So well done.
Well done.
Minjee Lee. It's been a while since she's been in these rankings, but she's straight up to the top, Duels. That is it. What have you got happening this week?
One of your better rankings.
Oh, really?
Well done.
Oh,
this week, this is my last week in Melbourne for a little while. I'm about to hit the road. So I'll be in WA from next week, going all the way up and down the beautiful state of Western Australia, doing some shows in all sorts of places from Leederville to Karratha, and then ending that 3-week run back at the greatest venue in the country, I think, the Comedy Lounge. This week, though, tomorrow I've got the Baby Pram Friendly show at Coburg Courthouse. Sold out. Oh, there might be 1 or there might be 2 tickets left. There are 2 tickets left for that show. And then Thursday night, I'm in Berwick at Devolution Bar. for Devolved Comedy with myself and Daniel Connell, and that's got they just had an extra 2 tickets become available, was sold out, and then I may have messed up the ticket link, so I just added in an extra couple of tickets because a couple of people were like, I didn't get my ticket. So there's 2 tickets left for my shows this week, and then Sunday I'll be at the ESPY performing there with Matt O'Neill, Paul Sharpland, Andrew Isles, and Ben McCarthy.
There you go. You do not want to miss. Is that downstairs in the basement or is it in the main?
I think it's in the Gershwin room.
Jesus, how many people in the Gershwin?
No idea. Don't know.
It's gonna be gangbusters. I'm sure that one's. I'm sure there's a couple of tickets left to that one if you get on it right now.
Probably
right now. Myself, I'm gonna be at comedy at the Anglers Club in Hurstbridge on Thursday.
Such a good gig. I love that gig so much.
I can't wait to do it. You've told me all about it.
I hope it's cold outside
sure
because they get this could make the food list.
Wow, really?
You get a bowl of soup and some toast.
What?
Yeah.
All right.
That's their whole. I love it. It's so good.
On the next Budgie Smugglers for that to see where that lands in the rankings, and then on Saturday I'm gonna be at the Crown Hotel in Traralgon.
Oi.
For Blow-Ins comedy, so which will be fun. Back to the Gippsland, all over the Gippslands. My favourite types of both lands and Gips are the Gippslands.
Yeah.
So very good.
Good stuff.
That's it.
See ya.
See you all next week.
Thanks.
Bye.